What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we stay hot in the MLB, baby. That's right, another 3-in-1 day. And again, if you're trying to figure out why there's no intro music and all that, Ryan is out again, so it's just going to be me recording the video and editing tonight. So it's going to look a little different, but we'll get through it. So, like I said, 3-in-1 day on a 14-5 run. I will gladly take it. That was a nice winner to end the night with Luis Severino. But more on the bets in a little bit. The fun fact today is about this season, so it might just kind of open your eyes a little bit. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But you may not have seen my comment that I had a pinned comment. I completely missed a comment yesterday of one of the finalists for the Dinger Tuesday. He picked Kerry Carpenter, and he hit, so he is the winner. Congrats to Mr. K Rizzo 78 for winning the $40 prize. We've been in contact about getting him the money. So, quick NFL heads up. We are getting really close to the season. I'm jacked up about it. We will be recording our NFL season preview video this weekend. We're going to talk overrated teams, underrated teams, give out my best futures bets of the year, and then give our Super Bowl predictions. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. But today, we got a 15-game slate. We got to get right back into the MLB and keep grinding away. But before we do that, that means it's the baseball fun fact time. So here we go. The last 2 months of this season, the MLB records, just so you guys know, the Oakland Athletics 27-24, the 12th best team. Tigers 28-26, the 13th best team. Okay, they're in the top 13 of records in the last 2 months. This is a big chunk here. Phillies 25-27, 19th best. Yankees 24-27, 21st, and the Orioles are 25-29, the 22nd best team. I don't know what to tell you. For you guys that love to bet money lines and all that and say all these teams are killing you guys and everything, we got to look at who's playing better right now. Let's face it, over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, does not matter. The Baltimore Orioles are under 500 right now. They just haven't been playing well. It's just plain and simple. Whether it's the offense or the pitching, it has been a struggle. So I'm not here to say that the Oakland A's and Tigers are much better teams, but in the last 2 months, that's why betting baseball can be hard and why money lines can be hard, because the teams you think suck are actually the ones winning. So that's the baseball fun fact and just something to get out there for you guys so you guys are aware of all that. So, and by the way, the best 5 records the last 2 months: Padres, D-backs, Astros, Twins, and Mets. So now in this video, we're going to recap yesterday and then go over the good and bad hitter matchups, and then, of course, the good pitcher strikeout matchups, go over the entire 15-game pitcher report, and then end it with our best bets, the hitter parlay ideas, and the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Cannot thank you guys enough for doing that every single day. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we go over MLB, NFL, and NBA, and we are just right around the corner from football. Have I mentioned that yet? I'm a little excited about it. But anyways, let's get into it, and it starts with the recap. All right, there it is, the 3-in-1 day. Gotta love it. Started out with Gavin Williams getting 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, and somehow, someway, the miracle happened, and he ended on 5 for a nice half-unit win. Every bet was half-unit today. Miles Mikolas, a half-unit play, was the only loss. He was an absolute beauty. I mean, I talk about him, make fun of him enough, and he throws an absolute gem against the Brewers, who just could not hit today, and he gave up 0 earned runs. His third time, I think, all season giving up 0 runs. A's team total over 1.5, first 5 innings, almost got it in the first inning, and then come up clutch in the second inning. Easy cash. And then the nightcap, Luis Severino under 17.5 outs, plus 145, and we got a beauty. He was taken out after 5 innings at almost 90 pitches. That's kind of what I was hoping for today, honestly, because he did throw almost 115 pitches his last start. I thought he'd be on a little bit shorter leash. So it was a nice 3-in-1 day. I could love to see it. Obviously, I wish I did all 1 unit now looking back, but still, sometimes you just play it safe. And looky what we have. I am up plus 0.35 units in the green finally, and I'm quitting. I retire. It was a great year. We profited, and that's it. No, I'm just joking, but it feels good. Now I want to keep that train rolling. So that's the bets recap, and now let's talk some good and bad hitter matchups. All right, we got 15 of them for you, and we start out with Francisco Lindor, 7 for 20 with 2 bombs off Musgrove, but he also has 10 strikeouts, just FYI. Bryce Harper, 6 for 19. His teammate Schwarber, 6 for 16 with 3 bombs against Waka Waka. Over there on the right, obviously, you're going to see down towards the bottom, Shohei Ohtani, 4 for 6 with 3 extra base hits including 1 home run against Tyler Alexander, different pitcher. And then Spencer Steer on the bottom on the left, other side, 6 for 10, 2 extra base hits with 1 home run versus Bailey Falter. And there's the rest of the guys, including his teammate Tyler Stevenson, 6 for 13 with 1 bomb off of Falter himself. And our boy Ozuna, 5 for 12 with a bomb versus Mackenzie Gore. So take a screenshot. Hopefully this helps you get some winners. And now let's go check out the bad hitter matchups. And we have 6 of those for you, including Jose Ramirez, 3 for 17 with 3 Ks. And then Anthony Rendon, 3 Ks, 2 for 13 off Basset Hound. Same for Winker, and then you go to Joey Gallo. I mean, this isn't a surprise. Gallo does this a lot against a lot of guys, but Chris Sale's a tough matchup. 1 for 12 with 9 Ks. I'd be shocked if he's even in the lineup against him. And then down there, Orlando Arcia, 0 for 10 with 3 Ks against Mackenzie Gore. So that's what we got for all the hitter matchups. And now let's talk some arms. Even though we got a 15-game slate, we only have 2 good pitcher strikeout matchups, and that's Carlos Rodon against the Rockies. We know all about the Rockies on the road, but Colorado 9th highest K percentage versus lefties in the last 3 weeks, 27.1%. Rodon, 148 Ks and 134.2 innings. Like we've talked about many times before, the Rockies K rate versus lefties away from Coors Field is 33.4%. The highest in the major leagues, and this is since July 1st, so it's a pretty good sample size. Rodon's home K rate is also higher at home, 28.3 compared to 24.1 on the road. You just saw Colorado let Patrick Corbin strike out like 8 guys, or maybe even more than that. It was absolutely insane. Rodon, 6+ Ks now in 7 of his last 8 home starts. The second one, Hayden Birdsong. What a name. I don't even know how to make fun of the name. It's just an interesting name. But he's going up against the Seattle Mariners. Mariners 5th highest K percentage versus righties in the last 3 weeks at 26.1%. Also, the Mariners just fired Scott Service. That's right. No more Scott Service. Enter Dan Wilson as the interim head coach, the catcher during the 90s when we had Griffey and Edgar and all those boys. So, but anyways, Birdsong, 49 Ks in 41.1 innings. His K rate is higher on the road for 29.5% compared to 25.3 at home. Obviously, he's going to be in Seattle, which is a pitcher's ballpark. He's been a little all over the place lately, though. 5.5, 1.8, and 12 Ks the last 5 starts. So his K rate is a little higher because of that game he had 12 strikeouts. But 7 of the last 11 righties have 6 or more Ks versus the Mariners. And I'm not counting guys that pitch like 1 inning and just open a game or anything. So those are the 2 best pitcher strikeout matchups. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, these are the first 8 matchups of the day, starting out with Andrew Abbott against Bailey Falter up there. Abbott's been pretty good, as you guys know, below average K rate, though. And then we got Hunter Brown versus Maury Povich's son. I have no idea. I'm just making it up. But 5.77 ERA. The rookie is back on the mound, 15.5% K rate, 11.5% walk rate. He obviously needs to improve. And then Kyle Freeland going up against Carlos Rodon, who we've already talked about. Battled the lefties there. We know advantage New York in that one. And then Czechoslovakia against Basset Hound. 7.8% K rate is not even a misprint. That's the crazy part of that. So it's only been 20 innings, but just not a very good pitcher, obviously. Ryan Nelson versus Brian Bayo, 2 guys who also, don't miss a ton of bats. 4.35 ERA for Nelson. He's been a little better than I anticipated this year. Eovaldi against Tanner Bybee down there. Bybee's obviously been a pretty good pitcher for them as he's made a couple starts now after injury. And then Hendricks versus Max Meyer, 2 just absolute cans. And then Mackenzie Gore, who's kind of faltering down the stretch a little bit. I don't know if he's hitting a wall or not, but going up against a Cy Young candidate in the lefty, Chris Sale. So those are the first 8 matchups with the walk percentage, hits per 9, everything you need, and all the averages on the bottom. So take a screenshot. Hopefully it helps start your day. And now let's go check out page 2. All right, these are the final 7 matchups. We don't have any great pitching matchups on this one, honestly. We got Palante, Festa, nothing special there. But Festa has been missing some bats. 27.7% K rate there for the Twins. Michael Wacha, we're still waiting for him to just absolutely fall apart. He's had a few chances here and there. 3.33 ERA, 3.33 ERA. Taiwan Walker, 5.69 ERA. It has not been pretty for him as his career's kind of going down the tank a little bit. Kaider Montero, 5.28 ERA. Chris Flexen, my goodness, guys, we could see a lot of runs on Friday. That's just how I see it based on looking at all these starting pitcher matchups. Then we got Blackburn versus Joe Musgrove, who is back. 4.97 ERA. Can he find his old form? Sears, Savale, nothing special there. Obviously, we've talked about them before. Hayden Birdsong, who we just talked about, going up against Luis Castillo. We'll see if the Mariners can get out of this funk that they're in now that they got a new head coach. But Castillo's been good, but not great this year like he usually is. So, and then Bobby Miller, who has been absolutely horrendous this year, is going to try to make a comeback in his second stint with the Dodgers this season. So that's what we got. All 15 matchups for the pitcher report. And now it is time for the best bets. All right, this first best takes us out to Cleveland, Ohio, where the Guardians host the Texas Rangers. Guardians on the money line -134. Rangers on the money line +114 with a total of 7.5 runs. I got a unique one. Give me a team total under. The Rangers under 3.5 runs at -113 on FanDuel for 1 unit. Rangers are going up against Tanner Bybee, if you don't know in this game. Bybee has now gone 5 straight starts, giving up 2 or less earned runs, 1 or less earned runs in 4 of the last 5 starts. He's had great command, also only a 6% walk rate, as you guys saw in the pitcher report, with only 2 walks in his past 21.2 innings. He has been a little worse at home, I will say that. 3.99 ERA compared to 2.81 on the road. I'm not too worried about it, especially last 2 home starts. 1 earned run given up in 10.2 innings. I don't think it's going to matter much because of the matchup. He is facing a struggling Texas Rangers offense, and it's weird to say that after their World Series win last year. But since the All-Star break versus right-handed pitching, they are 24th WRC+, 6th lowest walk rate, 4th lowest on-base percentage, 8th lowest ISO power, 7th lowest slugging, etc., etc. They are a bottom 7 offense in this league versus righties. Rangers have now scored 3 or less runs in 5 of their last 7 games. They're averaging just a tick over 2.5 runs per game in their last 2 series. And in fact, they just had a 3-game series versus the Pirates, and they scored 5 total runs. That is just pathetic. Behind Tanner Bybee, this is why I also love the bet, is an elite Guardians bullpen. For you guys that follow baseball, you guys know they have been great all season. Since July 1st, just to give you kind of a month and a half or so of a sample size, 4th best bullpen ERA at 2.91, 7th best xFIP, 3rd fewest home runs given up per 9 innings. They're fresh. They only pitched Sandlin and Gillespie yesterday. This total's low at 7.5 for a reason. I'm going to be honest with you. I like the under 7.5. I tried to play with maybe under first 5 at 4, under 7.5, but I didn't trust the Rangers bullpen enough, although the Guardians are struggling offensively too. So I'm going to stick with the Rangers under 3.5 runs to struggle again as my first best bet. All right, this second game takes us out to San Diego, where the Fathers host the New York Mets. Padres on the money line -142, Mets on the money line +120 with a total of 7.5 runs. My best bet in this game, it's a player prop. Give me Joe Musgrove under 5.5 Ks at -105 on Bet365 for a unit. Now, what kind of brought me to this a little bit is he's on my fantasy team. And so I look at his stats. I know kind of what he's been doing a little bit, and he's just making his way back from injury. He's only made 2 starts, but he's just not a guy who misses a ton of bats. So let's get into it. He's had 2 starts, like I said, since May. He threw 63 and then 73 pitches in those 2 games. I'm expecting no more than about 80 or so in this game, and that's just, obviously, I'm not the head coach, but I'd be surprised if they went from 73 pitches to all of a sudden 95 or something like that. He has had, in those 2 starts, 1 and 6 strikeouts. The 6 against the Rockies doesn't count. The 1 against the freaking Pirates, who have the 3rd highest K rate versus righties, just to show you he's not getting a ton of whiffs, not getting a lot of that swing and miss that obviously you need. But he has 6 Ks, 6 Ks in my opinion, at a 5.5 line. It's going to be a lot when you're only going to throw 75, 80 pitches, unless you're a guy who has an elite strikeout guy or has an elite strikeout stuff, and he just doesn't. He has a slightly below average strikeout rate this year, as you saw in the pitcher report. And as you can see from this screenshot with Outlier, click that link below, get that free trial. But he is under this in 9 of 12 starts this year, including 6 of 8 home starts. So I just don't understand this number. I think it's a tick too high. But now let's talk the Mets. He's facing the Mets, who are the 13th highest K rate versus righties since the All-Star break at 24.1%. It's an okay matchup. That's what it is. They're about average. But 5 of the last 7 righties have gone under this line against the Mets. Always a good sign because Musgrove's not one of those elite strikeout guys anyways. And those are guys who actually throw a lot of pitches as well. The last one to go over was yesterday. Dylan Cease, who is obviously one of the biggest strikeout guys in the major leagues. He went 6.1 innings and still just had 7 Ks. So the Mets got the bat on the ball pretty well. Like I said, we have an average strikeout guy against, or really a below average versus an average strikeout matchup. He's on a pitch count. 5.5 is a little too low. I think this number should be at 4.5. Give me Joe Musgrove under 5.5 Ks as my second and final best bet on the video. Added plays will be in the pinned comments on X and on Discord. But before we wrap it up, let's talk some hitter parlay ideas. All right, we went 2-1 yesterday again. Vlad let us down going over, but here we go. I got 3 more. Marcell Ozuna, rinse and freaking repeat. At home versus lefties. You guys get it. He's now hitting 400 on the season at home against lefties. If you want to see more about it, it's on the segment yesterday. He's also happens to be 5 for 12 off Mackenzie Gore, as you saw earlier. Second one, Spencer Steer, 1+ hit in 12 of his last 14 games. An insane 6 for 10 off Bailey Falter. That's impressive. Falter about average and giving up hits. I just like the matchup and the form for Spencer Steer. Jarren Duran is the third one. He is hitting 307 versus righties this year. 305 at home. 331 at home versus righties. See what I did there? 1+ hit in 27 of his last 33 games. He's facing Ryan Nelson, who I'm going to be honest, he's been better lately. He really has. He's been a pretty good pitcher, but still overall this year, giving up over 9 hits per 9 innings. I like the matchup. So give me those 3, Jarren Duran, Spencer Steer, and Marcell Ozuna as the hitter parlay ideas. Again, that doesn't mean just parlay these 3. These are just ideas for you guys, just more information for you. But that's all the research help I have, the best bets. Before we get out of here, let's check out that recap. All right, there it is. The Rangers team total under 3.5 runs at -113 on FanDuel. And then Joe Musgrove under 5.5 Ks at -105 on Bet365. Love the value on that one. But those are my 2 best bets so far. Like I said, added plays always in the pinned comments below on X and on Discord. We'll get more props, more odds, and all that kind of stuff out in the morning. So thank you guys for listening. Again, I appreciate it. It's been another awesome week talking some baseball. And if you're new to the channel, I do not do videos on weekends because I got to spend time with the wife and kids at some point. So if you're looking for bets, I'm going to have them on the community tab on YouTube, on X, and on Discord. Discord is free, by the way, so go check those out. If I have any time, I'll get some good hitter matchups out as well. But thanks again. Hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.